I'm really, really excited about this position. I think if you look at how you run a campaign, it should be also the way you're going to run when you get there. I started in June the 11th, June the 12th, and I have not stopped. I'm not kidding, from 10 hours a day, every single day I've been out there. I've been investigating, talking to people, talking to every person that I could think of, look at businessmen. You know, one of the great things that has happened is the fact that as I go through the community, my diverse education and my experience, I get to engage with people that I know what's really happening to. Whether I've been at a recreation center as a director at the age of 19, the only liaison between Big Spring State Hospital and El Paso, or the director of rural mental health services in southern New Mexico, or running an operation of 180 ready-mix trucks, gives me the opportunity that is very rare that I can talk to someone that I haven't been there and that I really have engaged and clearly understand what their needs are at that point in time. Yes.
First question, what is it about your leadership style that makes you suited for county judge?
Well, I think that's a great question, because when I saw the position and it said CEO/judge, I have never been more excited in my life. I feel like I have everything that I have done in my past, in my experience in both education, have led me to this. It is really difficult to be a vice president of human resources for so many years, sitting in front of people that are in concrete, either they're vice presidents of operations or quality, and be able to engage with them and to convince them. They always tell me, you know, there's a lot of excitement about what you want to do, but how are you going to get elected officials to really respond to you? Well, it's the same thing that happens when I worked in corporate America, and I had a great run for 15 years of everything you can think of in operations. You have to get people to believe in what you're saying, believe in what you're going to do, and that's where leadership comes. It's not assigned to you. It's something that you gain by respect, but you also gain it by the kind of knowledge and the depth and how profound you are in what you're talking about. That gains more in leadership than anything I can think of. That's when they respect you for who you've been and what you're trying to accomplish.
As county judge, what do you see as something the West Side, specifically Schuster to our craft, could benefit from, and what would you do to see that happen?
Well, I live in the West Side. I own a store here, Sport Clips on Sunland. It happens to be in the top 30 of 1,700 stores in the United States and Canada that I operate, and it's been very successful. I believe that we have to be much more sensitive and more creative about what happens, no matter where, whether it's a West Side or any side. I think we have to be creative about the opportunities that we have. There's a lot of opportunities in business. We have to be more business friendly, and there's a lot of things that I've looked at that does not put us as a county who's completely business friendly. And I think I can get that kind of motivation going. I understand what businesses need to do, and I can sit in front of most businessmen and have a discussion that allows us to then be effective in any type of business that we're dealing with. The West is a very powerful, it's a very diverse community, but I think it's the benchmark of the rest of the county.
The Commissioners Court 2017 Legislative Values Document, which is a general statement of principles of the County Commissioners, states on page 14, the Commissioners' position to, quote, oppose all new property tax exemptions, expansion of existing exemptions, or any other narrowing of the tax base unless approved by urban counties, unquote. What is your position on this policy statement?
Well, it's a strong policy statement, and it's obviously something that we need to look at. But I think that one of the things that we fail to look at, in my opinion, is not so much about our tax base and so much about the things that might hurt our community from that perspective, but to be able to drive business, to be able to have a tax tax base that is really respected by our community, and it's not going to come by burdening our community, but by bringing economic growth, economic development, and being able to get our county behind this and be able to understand that tax problems only exist because we don't have the right income and the right revenue to develop the kinds of things we would like to have in our community. When you have a tax situation and we say we're going to hold tax back, or we're going to cut tax back, the first place that we cut is the quality of living. Quality of living is always that gets affected much more than anything that we could think of. So I don't focus so much on lowering taxes as much as increasing our income here in our county.
You have a minute to.
Once again, I have never been so excited about the diversity that is required. The job of a county judge is a nuts and bolts kind of situation, the kind of things that we have worked with when you're working with major organizations, and that is understanding every element that happens, every element, being able to sit down with every department head. I've had several opportunities, as I said, I've been talking to a lot of people. I've also talked to department heads in the county, and they are really asking for a CEO to come in and run it from a CEO position, which means a tremendous amount of work. And I can tell you, in my career, very few people will outwork me. I am dedicated, I'm passionate, I'm here from El Paso, born and raised. I have a strong family history here in El Paso since 1911, and I am ready, because I have the passion that I believe that is required right now. We are poised to either have a very successful county or huge challenges that are coming up against us, and you need someone that's capable of understanding those diverse things that can take place.